Hello, everybody, and welcome to my NXT Takeover WarGames review. And holy shit, what a night we had on here tonight, folks. I can't really say a lot of bad things about, well, then again, I don't really never say a lot of bad things about NXT Takeovers in general, but once again, NXT continues to surpass itself, even in a kind of a half-empty arena in a way, too, which I'll get to that in a minute. But kicking off the show, we had Cassius Ohno versus Lars Sullivan. Ohno was over. I'll say that. The match was kind of whatever in a way. I still feel like Cassius Ohno doesn't have a lot of direction in NXT right now. And the match with Sullivan, God, it didn't really even go over 5 minutes that long. It's just, I guess they're trying to give Sullivan like a, I don't know, almost like a Braun Strowman like push. Like, he won, so he's a big dude, and I said they want to get him over and stuff, but the match was okay at best. Like, Chris Hero, whatever, I hate saying Cassius Ohno at the time, I just rather call him Chris Hero, but he was hitting elbows throughout there most of the time. The match was just kind of there, and I kind of knew it was kind of the weakest one on this card, so I'll just put this out right there. It was really kind of weak, so I didn't really care that much for it. It was okay. One of the matches of the night, which I almost was about to say the match of the night tonight, was Aleister Black versus the Velveteen Dream, Patrick Clark, which, yes, he comes out, dressed as Prince and everything with the purple, and when he pulled off the tights, the chaps, after pulling off the chaps, his tights had, Aleister Black's face and Dream's face out there, and holy shit, what a match storyline was. This was just insane. When Dream was just going and telling him that, say my name. I liked when Black did that whole, backflip into the sitting down Indian style, and then Dream just kind of got up and almost did like that Val Venus like pose, and kind of doing the same thing also was great. Him hitting that very, like, I'm not gonna say Sister Abigail, like DDT was cool. Black with those fucking knees and roundhouse kicks. And let me say this right here, Velveteen Dream was over, okay? He was super over. People were chanting his name. They were going nuts for him. Like, he was great. Like, they just was cheering the hell out of this guy when the match even began. And this was great. That Death Valley driver he hit, I almost thought he was going to win it from there. And was about to hit the Purple Rainmaker, but Black pretty much lifted his foot up, and he kind of got stuck into the ropes too, with Black hit him with a kick to the face, and when Velveteen Dream was trying to get up, and he was trying to get Velveteen Dream once he was kind of groggy. Black just hit the Black Mass on him, whatever, Tommy in, and won the match from there. Like, it was great. Okay, like him doing the Rick Rude, Rick Rude tights was still pretty cool and stuff. This was probably one of the best matches of the night. Like, people were into this. Like, Velveteen Dream, Patrick Clark was just super over night. He really was. And that was one of the best feuds they've had in NXT lately, leading up to this match. So it was enjoyable. The pants thing was crazy. He was really trying to get in the mind of Aleister Black. Like I said, he did the rope thing too, except he just did the gyrating thing and stuff instead of going for a dive. And we know there are 2 rings, by the way. Let me point this out. They kind of used each ring. Like the first match used the first ring, and then the second match used the second ring over there. So they kind of stuck to one ring throughout in these matches. But Dream is just getting over. I didn't like the gimmick at first, because I said, why does he look like Prince for? But the shit's super over. He is big, and after Aleister Black won, he sat down, and people in the crowd saying, say his name, and then Black said, enjoy infamy, Velveteen Dream, and people just went insane after they said something to say his name and stuff. So this was great. Okay, this was just a great match. I was literally about to put it as the match of the night, to be honest with you. Like, that's where I literally was about to put it, because it was just that great. I said, wow, who's gonna follow this up? And it's more in a tough spot here, as Nikki Cross versus Peyton Royce versus Ember Moon versus Kairi Sane for the vacant NXT Women's Championship in a fatal 4-way. There were some points where some of this match was sloppy. Most all the women were over, and I kind of had on Ember Moon to win anyways. Just because, she's been going into Asuka so many times, has been chasing the belt for so long. I almost forget this is the Texas area, this is Houston, so she's from Dallas, Texas. And a lot of people, I guess, thought she was going to lose because, it's the hometown thing, but that's more of a main roster type of deal when it's in your hometown a lot. It's rare you see somebody win on the main roster like Charlotte did the other night, but this was like the main roster. This is NXT, so it's different. But the match was enjoyable. There were a lot of spots that were kind of, sloppy at some points. But it was really great. I thought Royce was great out there. Cross was going at everybody. Sane hitting double elbows on people was really good. But when it kind of got near the end, it was Nikki Cross and Peyton Royce very much kind of set up, and Ember Moon hit the eclipse from a double eclipse, by the way, from the top rope and won the match, won the title, and which was really good. Asuka came in and gave her the title and stuff, pretty much giving it to her. Since they've had so many matches and respect for each other. But yes, the women was in a tough spot, but the crowd was hot for it too. They were great. It was still a fun match. It was just really hard to follow from Black and Dream. But Ember Moon, once again, always puts on great matches in NXT also. So it's good that she got the NXT Women's Championship, and hopefully we'll see what goes on from here with her. We'll see what happens, but they were in a tough spot, but it was really good though. It was really good though, so really enjoyed it. Next was Drew Galloway McIntyre. I'm so used to saying fucking Galloway. I really am, instead of McIntyre, versus Andre Cien Almas with Zelina Vega out there, La Sombra. And as the match pretty much started, this was an interesting match, really. I'll say that. I enjoyed the match. I think the main thing that people didn't expect was the ending of the match, and I had a little problem with the finish too. Listen, I thought this was a really good match. Don't get me wrong. And it was crazy. Zelina Vega getting involved in the match at multiple times. Galloway hitting the Future Shock and the Claymore kick at points. I still think Galloway isn't over in some point, because the crowd just boos at him a lot for some reason. I felt like that when it was in Brooklyn too, that a lot of people did not care for Rude and Galloway, and you heard 3MB chants throughout a point in time. So we heard a lot of those with 3MB, and when it kind of got near the end, when Zelina Vega got involved, we already thought Almost was about to win the title from there, but he didn't. And then when he kind of went to the outside after Drew tried to kick and he went off the top rope, he pretty much went for the top rope after he dodged the Claymore, I believe it was. And when he got to the top rope, pretty much people were chanting C out there, so people Almost was over. It was like both guys were over really, but he hit a DDT on him, and this was the surprise that he got the win. Because that DDT looked really sloppy to me. And I guess that's because of Galloway's size. Because, dude, he just towered over everybody in that match. He towered the referee, towered Mike Rome. Zelina Vega's just stepping up to him. She just looks so tiny. And Galloway's a giant dude. Okay, he's a big dude. But, Almost won the NXT Championship. So it was a very surprise win. It really was. That I didn't really expect to that. And he just tossed the belt around like it was crazy going out the ring. Almost like, you got a minute too, this guy helped start Los Ingobernables kind of in Mexico. That's why Naito has his Los Ingobernables de Japón, and this guy kind of started this whole thing with Naito and everything, because I thought Almost wasn't going anywhere in NXT at one point, especially when he had him face. But it is a great story for him picking up the title, because his face run was horrible. And he was better as heel. Do I think Galloway will come back for the title? Yeah, which I'm now finding out that he may have a torn bicep, with the MRI is showing. So we don't know if he's really hurt yet all the way. But it was a very very surprising win to see Almas get the title. Will Galloway get a rematch? I don't know, depending if he's hurt or not. But it was very surprising to see Almas win, because I just thought Galloway was going to win. I didn't really think Almas was going to win. I was surprised he was getting a title shot already. But I guess maybe they're going somewhere with this. We'll see what happens. But I'm not really sure where that's going to go on from there. Next was the WarGames match itself, as everyone was looking forward to. Mostly the Undisputed Era, which I still think that's a horrible name, so I'm just going to say Red Dragon and Adam Cole, or the damn near Team ROH. Sanity, and by the way, and Sanity and Authors of Pain and Roderick Strong, which Roderick Strong was dressed as the Authors of Pain. You know, once I saw that, I just felt like, are we doing this whole thing like what Kurt Angle did when he had come out with the Shield? He's got to be part of the group, like he's got to fit in instead of stand out from him. Like, that's the main thing I was thinking. So he's like part of the Shield in a way now, or something like that. Well, he's now part of Authors of Pain, kind of like how Kurt Angle was with the Shield. Now he's part of the Authors of Pain now. So that was something to put out there once I saw that. But the rules of this match, there was a lot of rules to this, which first I didn't understand why they took off the rope. I mean, not the rope, took off the roof of the cage, but I guess, you know, you expect somebody to jump. It's almost like you had to get into a shark cage, number one. Like, 3 guys start out in this match. You know, Adam Cole still comes out. Adam Cole, baby. Like, the come outs, 3 that start, then to timer, then, you know, they let the other 2 out of the cage, and, you know, once everybody's in the ring, that's when the match starts. And you can't escape the cage either, or it's your forfeit. So that's one thing about the WarGames thing. It was just a lot of rules that I didn't fit. It's almost like you get out the cage, and you gotta get in the cage, then you can't get out the cage. So, like, what? Didn't make a lot of sense to me at one point in time. And by the way, the match doesn't really officially start until all 3 teams are in the match. Like, everybody's gotta be in the match at first. And maybe I'm a little lost on the whole WarGames thing. I had to relearn some things, but like, somebody may need to tell me if about WarGames, if was there eliminations in the old ones back in WCW, and, you know, I believe it was the NWA also. So somebody needs to really point that out for me. But mostly it was about, you know, Eric Young, Adam Cole, and Roderick Strong started off the match, going against each other. And by the way, there are 2 rings and stuff, and then next thing you know, Red Dragon comes in, starts kicking everyone's ass, and then Authors of Pain, and then Sanity, which actually comes in with weapons in this match. Sanity came in, Alexander Wolf had a nightstick, Killian Dane, Big Dane will just start throwing trash cans, chains, chairs, everything. They just started kicking the shit out of everybody in the ring. And then he put the key in his mouth. I guess he ate the key or something. And by the way, Killian Dane shined throughout this match. They gave this guy a lot of offense. They really did. Like, Dane was just going in. Same with Wolf too. And there was a point where Eric Young was bleeding in the match, which I didn't think we were going to get any blood at first, but it had to be blood. This match had to go insane. Like, there was like that tornado DT off the top of the cage O'Reilly had to do. Dane was just killing everybody in there, jumping off the top rope. Like, he was flying all over the place. Let me get that straight right there. He was setting up everything, okay? Like, he was setting up everything. The Tower of Doom spot through both of the rings, and Adam Cole just sitting in the middle putting his hands up then. The spot where Strong did the suplex from the top of the cage, which we knew what that was for, on everybody was great. Alexander Wolf, one thing, doing both of those tables there and putting one of the Authors of Pain through it, his head was bleeding, which I believe they said they had to put stitches in during the match. Like, he had a pool of blood. There was like a pool of blood just all over the place. Like, I didn't know where that was going. Like, he was just bleeding, but he was still in the match though. That was just insane. Like, come on. I thought one thing that was funny was O'Reilly hitting himself with a chair. Like, he hit the chair off the ropes, and the chair hit his head. That was kind of crazy. Killian Dane doing a coast to coast from the top rope onto the chair was fucking crazy on that. After he did that, pretty much like the coast to coast. There was a lot of spots in this match. At least the crowd was hot for it. So let me have that thing too. The crowd was hot for it, chanting "Holy shit" throughout most of the time. A lot of double team moves that I forget Altars of Pain's finisher, hitting that power bomb thing. They hit Red Dragon with it on Killian Dane, and then pretty much power bomb both of them and both of them. By the way, they didn't use the second ring that much. It's like they did go to the second ring, but they only used it for that table spot and like some little points of that. They all stayed in one ring most of the time. They didn't really utilize both of the rings. They used one most of the time. And when it kind of got to the end with Cole and Roderick Strong, Eric Young hitting that wheelbarrow and even off the cage with a neck breaker, and when he was trying to hit a chair, Adam Cole remembers a Shining Wizard, pretty much pick up the win right there, because I did like when the crowd chanted "Please don't die" during the top of the cage spot. That was insane. The tables thing, the super collider. That's what Authors of Pain's finisher was. The super collider. Even Strong hitting and an ankle slam out there was great. Strong was going in with those crazy backbreaking moves, but like I said, Undisputed Era got the win. Wolf was just bloody out there. EY looked like he had a broken nose. So it was an insane match, and it delivered. Okay, WarGames did deliver, so that was great. They really did great out there, and I'm sure people don't get tired of not the blood, but the weapons match. But come on, this match had to fit the weapons in there. Okay, and this was a very long match too. So it was great. And NXT, I wouldn't be surprised if they do better than Survivor Series tomorrow night. I really wouldn't be surprised, because it looks like a lot of these NXT takeovers just outshine the fucking main pay-per-views most of the time. Like, it was better than, come on, look what happened with SummerSlam. Brooklyn 3 was better than SummerSlam. NXT Orlando, I thought it was, in a way, it was better than WrestleMania this year. Even the one back in San Antonio was better than the Royal Rumble early in the year too. So, and I would actually put WarGames as a match of the year candidate. I have to agree. It's got to go up there as a match of the year candidate. Like, it does fit the mold for that. So this was a very great NXT takeover as usual. I mostly liked every match. The only one match I really didn't like was the Lars Sullivan and Cassius Ohno. Every other match I really liked. I thought they were great. Even though I did see there was a kind of an empty crowd out there. Like, it wasn't a full crowd. Let me say that too. It wasn't empty, but it was not a sellout crowd. I saw a lot of empty seats out there, and I'm not surprised nowadays, just because we see a lot of empty seats on Raw and SmackDown. You have to put the drapes on them to cover up stuff. Like, you really see that between Raw and SmackDown nowadays. I wouldn't expect it during an NXT takeover. Something it's because of the hurricane, but like, I'm so used to these empty arenas I'm seeing almost every week nowadays. Like, I'm not surprised at that. So I wouldn't be surprised if Survivor Series tomorrow night doesn't have a sellout crowd, because this was not a sellout crowd tonight. But the crowd was hot though, and they made up for it. They were very loud, and they really made the matches very interesting and great out there. So we had some title changes tonight. Most of our predictions are right. I will say that. I really didn't expect Almas to win. That was the surprise title win, really. And we all know where Drew Galloway's going to go, since he may have a torn bicep, but I think he will get a rematch anyways. But hey, I really did enjoy the show tonight. I thought it was great. There was a lot of things taken out from NXT tonight, and it was good. I really did like Black and Dream, WarGames. I probably would just put match of the year right there. Almas and Galloway was surprising with the surprise win, and a win more in a tough spot, but they still had a really good match too. Really still enjoyed it. So NXT Takeover WarGames, once again, great show. Not much to say bad about NXT Takeovers. We'll see what happens tomorrow night in Survivor Series. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they outshine them like usual. That's probably why they had to change the Survivor Series card up so quick, because they knew NXT. I guess they got tired of NXT outdoing them, so we got to change everything to fuck up. So we'll see what happens tomorrow night on there. Right now, I'm putting in the pocket in the win for NXT right now. So WarGames, fucking great. So make sure you check out this show if you have not seen it yet. Great freaking show. Live reactions will be posted up with this review too. So I am out of here. I will see you guys later. Peace out.